I need to know how to fix a refrigerator evaporator coil.
The evaporator is used to let the refrigerant expand and cool before the compressor sucks the cooled down air in.
That doesn't tell me how to fix it when it isn't cooling down the refrigerant enough.
If there is a layer of dust and cobwebs on it, it can't evacuate the heat from the coolant that needs to cool down. The solution in that case is cleaning the coils.
Dusting the fridge has never been on my to-do list.
Cleaning it out needs to be too, but you can get to that later. If the thick layer of dirt means the heat can't escape, the coils can't do their job, and that's why the coils aren't cooling it all down.
I'll be lucky if it is something that simple.
At least this is something you're free to do. Well, it is free to do. Another issue is just making sure the coils are far enough back from the wall and have enough air to circulate the heat and let it get away from the coils.
That's the opposite of a dehumidifier freezing up because the cooler dry air can't escape to the rest of the room, so it circulates around the unit getting colder and colder.
The side benefit of checking if the coils are clean is that the unit gets more than enough airflow.
And it lets me look for other problems.
If you see a few rust spots, I'll know why the evaporator coils aren't working well, either.
The refrigerant leaks, if there is one, may not be as obvious as a red-rimmed pinprick hole, but you'd see a little bubbling or area-specific moisture or even ice if there was one.
I know a refrigerant leak can make the air colder at that one spot, though if it lets enough refrigerant out to freeze the coils, you may not have enough refrigerant for the refrigerator to be cold.
I also know that I would hear the leak.
You'd hear some pinging or bubbling as the refrigerant escapes and air creeps in with each cycle until there is nothing but air in the system.
That would explain the lack of cooling if that's the cause.
You'll typically have the refrigerator run harder and longer to maintain the same temperature before it runs all the time to merely cool it down.
Then I risk the compressor lockup because it overheated.
If it runs hard enough to overheat, you need a professional both to refill the refrigerant and fix the compressor.
And seal the leak.
Depending on the severity, replacing the evaporator coils may be in order.
If it is my air conditioner, they can put a patch on the coils.
Copper coils can be patched, but aluminum coils typically have to be replaced in their entirety.
Technically that solves the problem.
You might need someone to check out the system before you replace the coils, though, because it is almost as likely that the refrigerant is leaking out of a seals, too.
Then we're down to calling for service if cleaning it doesn't fix it.